Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. It's another wonderful, magical Monday, and it's time to dive back into the wonderful world of Nintendo news. We got a lot to cover today, including an update on the Mario Bros. Movie. We got an update for one of my favorite Switch games, and we got some leaks that have been confirmed, and one that is getting even more interesting, deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. So let's get straight into it. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. What's going on? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I love you guys a lot. Make sure to smash that like button and let me know what you think in the comments down below. All right, we're gonna kick it off with the Mario Brothers movie. I'm a big movie fan, and obviously I love Mario. So when Nintendo announced that they were partnering with Illumination to make a cool movie, I said, Minions, but I trust them because Miyamoto is involved. Now, we haven't heard much about this movie in a while, except that it's targeting a 2022 date, and apparently things are going well. Interesting update today. This comes about a character in the movie, and it's because an actor slash comedian named Sebastian Maniscalco said in a podcast that he is playing Spike in the new Mario Bros. Movie. Now, at first blush, you might think, this dude is playing Spike, like the guy that throws the spikes, the green guy with the hair and that Spike, but instead he said that he's playing Spike, their boss. Now this is referencing a very old character and a very little known character, Spike the Foreman. Spike the Foreman shows up in Wrecking Crew, which is an NES game way back when, and it makes you wonder, what is this Mario movie going to be about? Now, for all we know, Spike could be a very bit character with one or two lines, but it's interesting that Nintendo would go way back to the history and sort of the construction site vibes of Mario Bros. Origins. Personally, I'm just jazzed for this, all right? I wanna see what they can do. Wreck-It Ralph was so fun to see like different video game characters on screen. Bowser made an appearance there, but this promises to be a whole lot better. And I know, like, Despicable Me, not the greatest, but the fact that Nintendo is really like on this one, right? Like they have Miyamoto like observing it, I'm feeling good. Like I feel like it's not gonna be some colossal mess. It's not gonna be like the OG Mario movie that nobody even wants to remember. I think they can do it well. If it's basically like Pixar-ified Mario Brothers with all the fun characters of the Mushroom Kingdom and maybe some cool appearances from like the likes of DK and Yoshi and people like that, I think this could be a hit. And it's really a big moment because Nintendo is trying to go, hey, our characters are loved, let's take them from games beyond. That's the point of the parks and that's the point of this movie. They really want to expand beyond just the Switch. They want to take these characters and let the world know, like, Mario. But if there are a bunch of quirky side characters and extra little fan servicey moments, I'm down for that. And Miyamoto, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you were, I would tell you, get Wart and Mauser in there pronto. Spike is okay, but Wart and Mauser, that's where it's at. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for the Mario movie and who you'd want to see on the silver screen. Based on me, this next one is just too perfect. All right, you guys know I love Overcooked. It's like my favorite multiplayer co-op game. I say it all the time. I think it's one of the best indies ever. I think it's one of the best Switch games of all time. I just love it. And today they're celebrating the 5th anniversary, so shout out to you, Overcooked. But they've also brought a free update, which I think is so fun. It's a birthday update, and it adds a recipe for tea. Okay, my favorite game, my favorite drink, it's too perfect. It's like GMM inspired them, and they've added 5 new levels, a new chef, a new mechanic. It's very like Alice in Wonderland Tea Party vibes themed, and it looks super cool. So if you are an Overcooked player, you can grab this for free now, and you can make tea with your friends. Leaks. Let's talk about some Nintendo Switch leaks, and one that we actually covered just last week is now official, baby. All right, so we talked about last week, a game popped up on a Russian website and it looked pretty legit. Well, today it was officially announced that THQ Nordic is bringing Darksiders 3 to Nintendo Switch. One for Team SwitchForce, we called it. We talk about these things for a reason, and the game is coming super soon. All right, it's arriving on September 30th, both physically and digitally, for $40, which I think is fair. Obviously, we'd all like it to be free, but that's not possible. And this one does include 2 DLCs, both the Darksiders 3 DLCs, Keepers of the Void and the Crucible. Now, I'm willing to give Darksiders 3 another chance because you guys know I really appreciate the Darksiders franchise. 1 was basically mature-rated Zelda, and then 2 brought in some loot mechanics that sped things up and kept it very interesting. 3 bummed me out when I first played it. But I've heard some people say lately, like, the game wasn't as bad as we thought, and now that it's coming to Switch, maybe it's a good chance for it to have a second coming. I love Darksiders Genesis, and I'd love to love Darksiders 3, which features Fury. All right, we kind of knew this would probably happen because THQ Nordic does like to bring their games over a little bit later, but I'm glad they're doing it, and I'm glad it's coming soon. So let me know in the comments down below if you are excited for Darksiders 3, if you're willing to give it a shot, if you want to play it, if you've been playing the other Darksiders games. And yeah, now when we do see these things pop up, and when I talk about games that show up either on the ESRB website or on different websites, and I tell you like, yep, these are coming, like, they usually come through. It's interesting because we do have a lot of stuff kind of lurking, and we wondered if maybe Nintendo would be bringing a direct or something, but it seems like these announcements are just gonna pop up in little flurries on Twitter and things of that sort. I would expect an Indie World, though, to be announced any day now. I think it either comes this week or next week, but that's basically when it has to be, so stay tuned for that one. All right, this next one has layers to it because it goes back to before E3. A lot of rumors for Nintendo Switch focused on a new Xenoblade game, saying that, Monolith Soft seems to be gearing up for a new release, and it just makes sense. Well, now we have even further confirmation that that announcement is probably coming sooner rather than later. If you're a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, then hey, get excited. This actually comes in an interesting way. This YouTube channel, Din's Meteorite, was interviewing Jenna Coleman, who you may know from Doctor Who, but also plays Malia in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Now, the video itself, I can't lie, is pretty awkward, but there is a really interesting nugget from this, okay? They were talking about what she's working on and what's coming, and she says this, talking in reference to Xenoblade, and I think they're going to do another. Common knowledge? Don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to do another. Don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Now, this could just be errant speculation, but she sounds pretty sure, and maybe they're even bringing her character back, or maybe she's just heard from friends who also worked on the franchise. But it just lines up, and it's getting picked up by a lot of news sites like, hey, this seems pretty legit, and coming from a voice actor, we do find a lot of different things revealed in that way. Occasionally, like, they're incorrect or they have misinformation, but it just makes too much sense, guys and girls. Monolith Soft has been incredibly successful for Nintendo, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was their biggest game of all time, so hey, let's follow that up. Now, will that be Xenoblade Chronicles 3, a spin-off, something different in the franchise? I'm not quite sure, but I think this is something that we could kind of put in line for maybe a September Direct reveal. I don't think it's one that will be added to the end of the year slate, probably 2022, but you never know. I've heard some rumblings that Nintendo might actually have one or more things planned for the rest of the year that have not yet been announced, which sounds kind of crazy, but now I'm not promising anything, but just keep that in mind and let's see what happens at the next Nintendo Direct. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you'd be excited to have another Xenoblade game hit Switch. It's kind of the hub for the franchise, although Chronicles X has not made its way over. I've heard some people say like maybe they'll do a port, but enough about Xenoblade. All right, let me know if you're excited for it, and let's get to our poll. Today I asked you guys, do you subscribe or did you ever subscribe to a video game magazine? Something like Nintendo Power, EGM, Edge, etc. And 57% of you said nope, which just shows that the video game magazine is from a bygone era. It's kind of funny because this was like my main source of video game news. When I was little, I subscribed to like all of them. Game Informer, EGM, Xbox, some PlayStation thing, Edge over in the UK, Nintendo Power. I loved it. I would flip through the pages and circle the games I was excited to pre-order or get or keep tabs on, and then you just have to wait for another issue to see what happens next. It was really a weird time. Now the internet and people like me have kind of replaced video game magazines, but 43% of you said yeah, you do or did subscribe. And I think it's just a cool memory to have. It's interesting to think that like this show right here is kind of doing what Nintendo Power did for me, for you, which is pretty cool. And I take this role with a lot of pride and a lot of honor. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for just wanting to be here. It means a lot to me. I love you guys a lot. I hope your week is starting off great. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, for Good Morning Mario, thanks again. SwitchForce out.